Hey y'all, welcome to the Southern Heathens podcast. It's me, Ubby Emerson, and joining me today with my co-host, Raven Tierson. Welcome to the fucking show, guys.
Ye skull, motherfuckers.
So how have you been, man?
I've been okay. I'm exhausted today. I'm trying to kick my sugar addiction, which I don't know if a lot of people know, but studies show that it is more addictive than even cocaine. So
I don't doubt that whatsoever.
yeah, and I'm having a very rough day.
Well,
so
I
far.
hope it gets better. So guys, this episode, by the way, is our Q&A.
Yeah, we're having a Q&A episode.
Some of these questions we came up with ourselves because we didn't really get a whole lot of questions, which is fine. And next time we'll do more Q&A episodes, I think, in the future.
Yeah, we'll plan ahead and put out some feelers and
just one thing too, by the way. Don't mean to cut you off. Want to say thank you to y'all for coming into the group. We've had so many people join the group, and it's been amazing. What was it? It went from like 4 in the Facebook group to
it went from 4 to 104 in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, and it's only growing since then. We have like 150 now, I think.
Yeah.
And it's people have been requesting, and I'm at work and stuff, and he had a little Facebook restriction, so he couldn't approve anyone. So I'm at work trying to everyone's just going in, requesting and getting the group.
Yeah, but Aaron did help out a little bit. He's now a moderator.
Shout out to Aaron Nichols.
Yeah, shout out, man. He's down in Potts Camp, Mississippi. Yeah.
Okay, how far is that from us?
It's a few hours, I think.
We'll have to meet up with him.
Yeah.
You hear that, Aaron? We'll have to meet up with him, or you. Sorry,
yeah.
You.
Yeah, we'll have to meet up with him, Aaron.
Yeah. Or you can come up here, or whatever works, man.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great. And just to let everyone know, I if you're listening and you're a member of the group, we did have that little bit of drama from an individual that claimed he was Vikinger. He was like, "I'm Vikinger, my guy."
Oh, fuck.
And you don't have to have lived 1,700 years ago to be. That is way off.
Yeah,
first of
way
all,
off of the date time. But guys, we did not want drama in the group. That's why I simply just booted him. Because I gave him a chance. Just like anyone should. Because everyone, especially if they're new to the path, but if they're willing to actually listen to facts over their feelings, then hey, you can stay in the group. But if you keep emphasizing that you are a Viking, and it just
you're not. We're going to point that out. We have a whole episode that we even rebroadcasted once. You're not a Viking. You are a heathen. You are a Norse pagan. You are not a Viking. I mean, I can't make it any more clear than that. You're not a Viking. You're not my brother or my sister. I don't know you.
You don't have to say skull after every fucking post you make.
Yeah. What is that meme that had Shrek in the picture? It says, I may be a disappointment, but at least I don't use skull as a greeting. But yeah, we're going to get into the questions, but first I want to give a nice shout out to Courtney Fox down in New Zealand, one of our listeners. Ran into her in a group just randomly, and she's one of our listeners, and she's all the way down in New Zealand. So
it's an amazing place, by the way, Courtney. I would love to go to New Zealand. I've already been to Australia before. I loved it. New Zealand definitely is on my bucket list.
Yeah,
to go.
You had a chance to go there, didn't you?
I know I had a chance, and I was an idiot, and I said no. I was younger.
For anyone listening, he's an idiot. So
that is for sure.
Okay, so the first questions actually come from Courtney. So she wants to know how did we meet. So I mean,
you can answer that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. So I wasn't always a heathen. I followed a Celtic path, and I was considered a Druid. I was actually the founder of the Druid Order of North America, which is now the Druid Alliance of North America, and they're committing tax fraud, by the way. And it's the Druid Alliance of North America now. But I was the founder, and Ubba's mother was on the council with me, and we became really, really good friends. And she eventually introduced me to Ubba, and and I became really, really good friends, and then we all took an oath together and became family. So that's how we met.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty basic outline of it.
Yeah, and it wasn't long after that I actually started gravitating towards Norse paganism.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting called really heavy by Tyr, and the rest is history. So here I am.
I'd say so. And the next question is, how did we find out we were both heathen, or was this a journey forged together? And as he just said in the last answer to that question was, well, I was heathen first, and then he eventually became heathen as well.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because I have an extensive knowledge in paganism going back 15, 20 years, but I find myself being taught by you because I wasn't very familiar with heathenry. So it was pretty cool, because you would ask me questions about stuff that I obviously knew about, and then I'd have to ask you questions, and now I consider myself decently learned in heathenry. I'm not perfect, but I am reading the books. I am paying attention to the facts.
Yeah, the facts.
Yeah, I am doing that. So that's how I figured out that I was heathen. But what about you? What happened with you?
Well, for me, it was an experience. I had already was interested in just the old ways of growing up. And I've told people this before. Maybe some people don't know, but before I even heard of Norse gods, and like most people in America here, they hear of Jesus as their God, the Christian God when they grow up. For me, when I was a kid, going through rough times and stuff, the first God I can ever remember hearing his name was Zeus. Now, I'm not necessarily a Greek pagan, but that just kind of shows you that was one of the first times I'd heard a pagan god's name.
And I think we have to go ahead and do this now, because obviously it's happened. Russell Crowe is not Zeus. It's not real.
Yeah, it's all
for those
horrible.
of you that might think that's real. But yeah. And didn't you have a nickname?
Yeah, when I was born, my nickname was, this is Roman translation, which is Hercules.
Yeah. What was the original translation?
The Greek translation is Heracles.
Heracles, yeah. I knew that, by the way. I'm just trying to... but yeah, so...
And then eventually, through the years, when I was about 19 or 20, I think, I started, researching the old ways a little bit more, and I just fell in love with, the old ways of, the gods and stuff, and... Yeah, I had an experience, you could say, with Thor, and I just never looked back. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I think this is what I believe in now and everything, and she was fully supportive of it, and I haven't looked back since then. It's taken me through many, many, many fucking journeys.
Yeah, and partly here,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the next question is, what are the similarities between a heathen and a witch?
Well, okay. So, first of all, I want to preface this with you don't have to practice witchcraft to be a heathen. You really don't. Witchcraft is a particular practice. And I believe in the Norse traditions, it's, how do you say the word?
Seether?
Seether?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have the vulva, which are basically seeresses or witches in the Norse. But witch... The word witch comes from, and it's actually spelled W-I-C-C-A, but it's witche.
Yeah.
Which is the I believe I think it's Indo-European witche, which is like a magic woman or a woman that practices, and not necessarily witchcraft as in how we see it, but people back then saw healers and stuff like that as witchcraft, people that knew herbal medicine, and the male counterpart to that was witche, which was male, male witch.
Yeah, and in the Norse tradition, though, I will preface this by saying, Seether was frowned upon for men to actually practice it, and you can actually read that in many sources, by the way. In the stories, Odin practiced Seether, which I know is kind of a oxymoron or contradictory, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's also God. But just prefacing that. So yeah.
So yeah, there's the difference. I mean, to be heathen doesn't necessarily mean you're a witch or to practice witchcraft. Heathenry is a religious term for people that worship the Norse gods or worship Germanic gods.
And I would say also that's more of like a modern thing too.
Yeah. It's a slang or a derogatory term that we ran with.
And also, we went over this too in a few episodes back, actually, about the definition, like the ancient definition of what heathen was,
right?
And over the centuries and how it's changed and stuff. Like Christians and monotheists, like they still probably use it to this day as heathens, as satanic bastards.
Yeah,
whatever.
But again, Courtney, we really want to thank you for those questions. Those were actually really great questions. We're just going to keep on moving along. The next question, we're some that we formulated ourselves. What are we doing as far as like merchandise, like a merch store? Mm-hmm. So we are designing T-shirts, unique T-shirts with sayings and stuff on them, and our logos and all that stuff. We're gonna have mugs, T-shirts, hats, car decals, stuff like that. It's taking a long time to get done because I have also another job, so this is not the only job I have.
Same here.
So I mean, we try our best, but
But what we can say, though, in terms of ideas for T-shirts, and this is something that I came up with, we won't go into too much detail, but I figured, we are the Southern Heathens, and our brand, is obviously solely based off of heathenry and the fact that we live in the American South. And so, with that being said, no bias, because it is my field guy, but, some shirts with like a alligator logo on it or something, or cypress trees.
Yeah.
Just figured those would be great ideas for them, because the representation of the nature that we're around constantly.
Well, yeah, if anyone notices our new logo, there's actually the magnolia bloom, the flower on the magnolia tree, which if anyone knows that the magnolia tree is a unique evergreen. It stays green year-round unless you cut a branch off. Then, the leaves will die.
But yeah, no, I do remember when I first got here to Mississippi that it was, 20 degrees, I think, because it was, it gets pretty cold here, and every other tree is dead. All the leaves are dead, but the magnolia, no, that was
just beautiful, just shining through the snow. And
when you took me to some of those historical houses downtown, there was that big magnolia tree. And
yeah, they have some huge ones down
I've had
there.
dreams of those as kids, by the way, if the listeners, are listening. Just the color of it, the green in it, for me, it's like not a possessive color, I guess, if that's even a term, but it's one, for me at least, that just draws me in. I see it, especially in a time like winter where everything's dead, and that's like the greenest thing. It's just dark and it's mysterious, and I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely working on stuff like that, and also some crafts. Like I'm going to be making some runes made out of a very special wood. Just look forward to that. The store is going to be put up on our website, and obviously we're going to be sharing it on all of our social medias, which you can reach us on YouTube and Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. We're on all of them, so if you can find us anywhere, and it's just easy. So the next question is
what's our both of our favorite places currently out in nature, and this can be a specific spot or it can be just an environmental preference, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, I to exclude a specific spot because I have so many.
Yeah.
My favorite place is like a field, a little with some trees next to a small body of water where you can hear the birds chirping, you can hear the water flowing. So we get that a lot down by Liddon Lake or Wacomas Lake. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if you go up to Pickwick and there's not a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe little streams and stuff like that. It's beautiful, absolutely perfect for me.
I would actually have to agree with the same thing that you were saying right there, and that is because there's so many places, especially just here in general in the last 8 months that I've been here. But I will say, in general, I would just say probably just a swamp with cypress trees and dark water, with green lily pads all over it.
Yeah, we have quite a few of those kind of
areas. Liddon Lake, there's on the other side of the lake, they have all the green and whatnot. It's so beautiful, and I'm hoping to go down to near Jackson soon enough, or even in Louisiana and go to some of the cypress swamps, because those are just I don't know, they take me back in time, I guess. And you have creatures like alligators who are have ancestors that survived, long before and after the dinosaurs. So I don't know. It's like a primordial place is the best way to put it. That's what I prefer.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not very far off with the way we enjoy our nature.
Yeah.
It involves water and trees and beautiful scenery, and I do enjoy a good swampy look, and But so so the next question is: do we plan on moving?
No. Here's the next question is: where is a sort of place in nature that we want to go but we haven't yet?
Oh, yeah. See, I am dyslexic, folks, so things happen. My heart really does lie in the Highlands of Scotland.
Yeah,
it really does,
and I don't blame you there because it is gorgeous,
absolutely gorgeous. And I of course I enjoy cooler weather and high winds and and rainy kind of weather and stuff like that. It's kind of my thing. I can't remember the term for people that love that kind of weather, but when the sky's black and you see lightning clacking across the sky.
Yeah, and it's not technically dark yet, but it's the clouds and whatnot that are making the sky black.
Right, and it's just
the listeners, you guys have probably seen that picture over the internet somewhere.
Yeah,
social media.
People like when it says that I crave that, like I really do crave that. It's something that I can't explain. It's like a divine feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I would, something like that.
For me, I would actually say, so I'll just preface this, and I'm only saying this one spot because, well, I've been overseas before to Australia and whatnot, and I lived in Washington. I lived in a very mountainous area, and if you guys ever look up the Columbia River Gorge, you will see how the river splits the mountains, and you've seen the pictures I've seen, the lookout, the viewpoint, and whatever. Like I'm standing on the ledge and stuff.
Right.
And also I've been over to Mount St. Helens. Beautiful places. Don't get me wrong. I love them and I do miss them. But if I had to choose anywhere that I'd want to go, it'd probably be just like what I was. Kind of the same thing as the last is like a bayou type area, just a wild. Watery type bugs, gators, snakes, big ass spiders.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, that is it's a primordial thing that I kind of like, and so I would say maybe like southern Mississippi or southern Louisiana. There's more nature. There's more wild in there. There's less people.
Right. I would think more northeastern Louisiana than southern Louisiana. The further away from the coast. But I mean, nonetheless, you're going to get hit by that hurricane. So
yeah, but more like Monroe or Lafayette.
Yeah,
but
even Shreveport.
Yeah. Those definitely places I want to go, and I will go eventually.
Yeah. So that does lead us to our next question, which is, do we plan on moving? Me personally, I haven't made any actual decisions or plans. I do contemplate it sometimes, and I'm still contemplating it, meditating on it. So I don't know. Can't say whether or not I will. I have a feeling that you probably will.
Oh, most definitely. You gave me a taste of the South, brother. No,
brother.
But I definitely, again, just like to answer the last two questions, it will be probably somewhere in Louisiana or southern Mississippi. Outside of Jackson, of course. I don't want to live in a city. Fuck that.
Right.
But it will have to be in a bayou area or like on the Delta or something.
Yeah, I can barely tolerate the city we have. When I go downtown,
we live in a very small
small. Like it is very small, historic looking town, and I can barely tolerate that. So, I've lived in large cities like Louisville, Kentucky, which is one of the largest cities in the country. You've lived in large cities.
Yeah, I lived in Vancouver, Washington, which isn't large to some people, but it was large for me. And I lived in North Hollywood, Burbank area, which is basically just in LA.
Yeah. It's and I can't stress this enough. It is absolutely disgusting. Everyone's like, I can't wait to go spend Christmas in New York City. I'm like, why? Not only does the streets smell like piss and shit, the fluorescent lights don't make the snow look any better. Why Why don't you enjoy nature? Become more primal, become more spiritual. All this steel and concrete and fluorescent lights and all this artificial, and you got all the advertisements everywhere. And, even people in Europe think that's weird. They're like, look, what's with all these ads, man? What's with all this advertising on the building? America is such a consumer society. It's just the big cities, all that shit is just absolutely gross. I just want to vomit every time I see it. And everyone's like, oh, look at this view. What view? You're looking at artificial rock.
Yeah. When I had to work in Memphis a bunch when I first got here, oh, fuck. I mean, Memphis is basically a shithole, too.
No, Memphis is one of the worst places you can ever be.
Like, it sucked because, if you go right outside of Memphis in Tennessee, gorgeous. Because Tennessee in general is just beautiful. But I had to work in Memphis quite a bit, and I fucking hated that so much.
And not to mention, and this is an ongoing study that I really wanted to be a part of, but I couldn't. The correlation between urbanization and higher crime rates. Obviously, when you get a bunch of human beings in a smaller area, the crime rate is going to go up. The more spread out we are, the harder it is to enact acts of violence and stuff like that, because there's extra steps. There's a correlation between living within a city and higher crime rates. So people need to also think of that. We don't see a lot of trouble out here, but you go into the city of Corinth and stuff's starting to get a little interesting in there, and it's trying to grow, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like
tear half the city down. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah, keep the historical stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you want to build anymore, I guess, build on the stuff that people don't shop at anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why expand more when you can just take away what's inside that's not actually doing anything?
Right. They're actually doing that at the Harper Square complex. They're just rebuilding that instead of adding more. But they are adding certain things, and it's probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
So next question, do we have any mentors? I'll go first on this one. I have actually a few. I have my Gothi and a few other heathens that I would consider family. I come to them, with questions about the runes, stories about the gods that I may have forgotten, because I've read the Eddas twice. I love reading it. I love the revenge stories especially, but they call us the religion of homework because there's so many stories, there's so many details about Norse paganism, and it's just simply because there wasn't like a lot of stuff that was left behind for us, like Snorri being our main source. It sucks. He was a Christian writing these. I'm not saying his knowledge is bad, but sometimes you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but to jump on that point though, a lot of people that actually do speak very badly on Snorri have to realize that he was a lot closer to what we believe than we were.
That's true. Yeah, he was very much closer.
He was so much closer. I mean, it was so much more fresh in those time periods than it is now. So think of it that way. Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, you're good. But yeah, I have a few heathen friends that are like family. My Gothis, like family too. I go to them a bunch. My Gothi he was the one that when I first got into heathenry. That was the first kindred I was ever a part of. So, and me and him have been close ever since. Yeah. So, do you have any mentors?
Unfortunately, all my mentors are gone now. So, I had my Uncle Gary who taught me how to play the blues. Mm-hmm. That man was a beautiful soul. He was a vulgar person, but he had a beautiful soul. My jiu-jitsu instructor, my Shihan, John Craig, passed away, and of course my dad just passed away. So, yeah. And my dad was as Southern as you can get. He said Washington, and that truck's got balls, boy.
Oh man, he was very Southern. It was awesome. I love talking to him. I remember there was a couple times too that we would go over there and stuff, and me and him would get to talking because he loved to tell us stories and stuff, and right. I'd tell him my stories, and especially because we both like trucks. it's my guilty pleasure. Is I do love older trucks, and I remember a couple times you were like, "All right, Dad,
yeah,
we gotta go."
We gotta go.
he would just keep going.
He'd follow us to the
and I'd keep listening because that shit's interesting. He told me about back in his day, and yeah, it's crazy, meeting the people and how much they actually, they become, really meaningful to you.
Yeah, and looking back, I just cherish those moments because even though I was like, hey, we got to go, the fact that he actually took his time out of his day to actually talk to us and wanted to talk to us and stuff like that, it's very special.
Yeah, times you won't forget.
Right. But yeah, those were the guys I looked up to. And of course, as far as paganism and stuff like that, I've moved fluidly through a lot of things. That's never really anything stuck with me as far as mentors go. I've tried to look up to a couple of people recently, and some of them are just really sour, bad, nasty people.
Yeah.
Always in a really sour mood.
Yeah.
Always bitching about their lives and shit like that. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought we were just talking about heathen mentors because that's what I. That's
well, I mean, mentors in general.
Mentors in general. I'd say also my grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa, my dad, stepdad too. Or I would say bonus dad.
Yeah.
That's what and same thing with my bonus mom. That's what, and also my mom. So we've all grown a lot closer over the years, and it's actually really nice to finally have taken that step in the growth and whatnot. So they've all supported me on the path.
That's good.
So,
yeah, I've made mistakes, where I kind of alienated one of my mentors, and I wasn't able to patch that before he passed away. Mm-hmm. So I've got to live with that, but he's at peace, and I've changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I know at least.
That's good to hear, though. Mm. All right, our next question is, I wrote it down kind of funny, and he was giving me shit for this earlier. But the question is, any plans for a haul? But I just wrote it down as haul plans.
Yeah, do you have haul plans?
So
you want to do karate in the garage?
Yep. Haul plans. So we...
Sorry, guys.
We,
and girls.
And women.
Okay.
We have talked about it amongst ourselves. I don't know if we've actually put it on the podcast, though. But one of our bigger things, besides the business and besides that, would be to actually have a haul here in the South. Whether it be Mississippi, Louisiana, whatever it is. We want a haul that represents, heathenry here in the South. And, we want magnolia trees around it. We want statues of the gods and everything. We want skulls of... animals around here.
He said skulls, not skulls.
Yeah.
Just to point that out.
Yeah. We wanted a southern nature-filled Norse hall, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right.
And we've talked about that, since I've gotten here, like that, that's like the fucking dream right there.
It is. It's going to be perfect, for bringing together heathens in an area where it's, I wouldn't say unacceptable, but it's harder for us to get together and do things. I heard about a hall that was, or a temple rather, that was shut down in Alabama because churches got together to protest and had it shut down and stuff like that. That's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
So we have an uphill battle in the South, but we will prevail.
That sounds so bad. In terms of heathenry, guys. In terms of heathenry.
Heathenry will rise again.
No, whatever. But, no, he is right, though. There's definitely an uphill battle. I mean, day to day, don't get me wrong, a lot of people here are very much respectful, and it is nice to be around that. But you obviously have your few bad apples. It doesn't really matter what necklace I'm wearing. It could be my ancestral necklaces. It could be my hammer, my Hercules necklace, my crocodile teeth. Like, I definitely get looked at sideways, especially if, like I said before, if I'm wearing a tank top and all my tattoos are showing.
So they just kind of...
Yeah. Or when we went to Pickwick, and I took my shirt off before I went to the
you
water.
You had a lot of stares.
Everyone, they saw my Mjolnir tattoo with the axes and the shields on the back, and the runes on my stomach, and because, I think I have more tattoos than I am years old. But But yeah, so but that is the plan though. Yeah, that we want to have a hall for heathens to come and celebrate the gods, celebrate the holidays and whatnot.
Right. And to be honest, our goal is, to have that become what we do full time. That's my goal, at least. I want to do that full time. I want to be there for the community. And, if anybody wants to reach out and help us reach that goal, feel free. You can reach us on the website, thesouthernheathens.com.
Yeah.
We have our emails on there. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. So even on TikTok, I don't get on there very much, but yeah, we're even on TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you have ideas, or even if you wanna help us get the ball rolling, I mean, we're ready.
We definitely want to get that going.
Yeah. So I think all the sales from the store and stuff like that will probably go towards that.
Yeah, probably that's probably the best idea.
So the last question.
So this is going to be controversial to some people who listen to it. And mind you guys, we're not saying these are accurate or that you should take it that way, because you shouldn't. That's not saying that there isn't some things that aren't accurate. But, again, it's a show or movie. Its sole purpose is to entertain. That's it.
Right.
So it is shows or movies depicting heathenry or the gods. What is, your pick?
Okay, so I kind of have a list. At the top of my list, I've got Mortal. That's good. Okay. And then I have The Last Kingdom. And then on down, you have I'm even adding Midsummer to this, because Midsummer's pretty good. But I mean, yeah, they're obviously not. We have that it just came out, The Northman, which has some accuracy to it. But I mean, obviously, it's been embellished a bit for entertainment purposes.
And that's essentially the question, guys. Too is like, we should have put it as like, what's the most entertaining shows or movies about heathenry or the gods that we enjoy?
Yeah, and I really do think that I enjoy the most. It would probably be Mortal and Ragnarok on Netflix. I like that too.
Yeah, I was actually I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
Mine, I would just say top of the list, because of just the way they depict the gods in there, is, if you guys haven't watched it, American Gods. Yeah. It's on Stars. It's pretty cool. I don't know, however, way to explain it, it's just an awesome fucking show.
Yeah.
There's so many gods in there too. There's from all different pantheons. You have Slavic gods in there too, which you usually don't get depicted a whole lot. So
yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of the first season a long time ago. I really want to get back into it, so I couldn't really speak on that one.
There's also a book too, American Gods by Neil Gaiman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's based off his book.
Okay.
So
yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's what we've got for today. I mean, those were the questions, and hey, we've reached we're almost to 35 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I did 10 questions.
Yeah.
But also, guys, too, if you guys are in the group or whatnot, which I'll actually post on the actual page, but I posted pictures of going out on the property and stuff, your daily reminder to go outside.
Yeah.
It was, mind you, it was very humid today, and it's not even that hot. It's just like maybe, in the 70s, maybe 80s.
Yeah, it's mid-80s.
But it is so humid. I came in sweating, but it was such a gorgeous walk. It had rained early on, I'm pretty sure.
That happens quite a bit after it rains and stops.
Oh yeah, you can just tell.
It gets so humid.
My hair is it's down right now because it looks like I just got out of the shower. That's how sweaty I am. But it was worth it, and I hope you guys look at the pictures. None of them are filtered, by the way. It's just that green here.
Yeah, but like you said, go outside, enjoy nature, pick up a book and read it. Just enjoy your life that way. Put down your electronics. I know that's ironic saying on a podcast, but we're trying to reach you with a message. We're not trying to get famous. We're not trying to, call me Robert Downey Jr. We're not trying to get famous. But anyway, just enjoy nature. Go outside, pick up a book, meditate. Put down the phone, and reconnect with the gods and your spirituality, and get out of the city a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do all those things, and again, Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, all the major podcasting platforms. Give us a like, a follow. Share us with all your friends. Share us with your enemies. I mean, come on. And you do all those things, and we'll be back to you when we feel like it. Y'all holla.
Y'all holla, brother.